Oh, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another wonderful live stream. Hope everyone's been having a wonderful weekend so far. Get some stuff out of the way here. All right, well, what are we going to work on today? Let's fix this camera just a wee bit there. Let's see if we'll get a couple more people in here today. Looks like we've got a few watching. Knock that thing out. Good morning, Full Throttle. I guess it's more afternoon, isn't it? Mr. Alex in the house. Welcome, everybody. So I'm just sanding down the engine mounts, getting them down to a better size so we can finish. Still morning here. Morning, afternoon, somewhat morning, whatever you would like to call it. So what's everyone been up to? Anything fun new? I haven't had a chance this week because of work to check out anybody's video, so what's going on? What's everyone working on? Alright, those ones are down far enough. Let's switch over to this side. Excuse me. So what are you guys working on? I haven't had a chance to watch any of your videos or anything like that, so what are you guys working on? What's going on with them? What a weekend. Best friend got married. Still working on my R32 drift build. Okay, we got a 57 Chevy. R32 drift build. That could be a lot of fun, Alex. Motor swapping that, or just kind of keeping it somewhat stock looking? What's up, humans? Eastwood? Sounds like the aliens in the house. My first full engine build. I'm gonna have to check that thing out. Ugh. You know, I don't know how many you guys have like builds going on at the same time. I don't know if I can do it. I've got the Vicky build. I don't have really anything else going on because I want to concentrate on this. But I also don't want to do first time using resin parts. Very nice. Resin parts are fun. But I don't want to really do a lot of work on this without you guys around. So I decided to start a build kind of off camera. I'll post pictures of it like on Instagram, but I just needed something else to work on. So how many on a time do you guys have? Jeff, welcome bud. Mike, welcome to the show. So how many different builds at one time do you guys have going on? Working on 4 right now. How on earth? I mean, the 2 builds are driving me up a wall, trying to get all the parts separated. Do you work on one build and like put it away, bring out the other build, or are they all on the table at the same time? Two? That's kind of what I'm thinking is 2. One also. Let's see, we got Zero popping in. Welcome. Welcome to another wonderful live stream. So we're talking about how many builds on your workbench do you have going on at the same time? Myself, I've got 2, and it's kind of a little overwhelming. We got 4 part-time. Everyone's rolling in today. I'd be losing parts. Yeah, that's my problem. That's always going to be my problem, is losing parts. But that's a different story. But I had to have something, so I'm trying to keep everything a little bit more organized. So it's this workbench here is just the Vicky. Nothing on it but Vicky parts. Over here off camera this way, I've got a little bit longer. Work on one, and then I can't work. Oh, I got you. But in the process, some of you guys know that I'm going to be building my kind of dream workbench. And I've kind of started designing that into it. Having workbenches like dedicated to each build that I'm doing. 2 builds. So it looks like most of us are 2 builds. Alright, that one's down far enough. That one's down far enough. Okay, so 2 builds. Very limited. I still new to the hobby, so I don't have that word selections. The only reason I'm doing it is because of GSL and going to one of the seminars and seeing a guy's workbench. So it really kind of inspired me to build a new workbench. It inspired me to build a keep stealing parts. 3 on the workbench and I'm losing it. Yeah, that's my problem. Is I think if I had more than 2, if I had the space, it probably wouldn't be that big of a deal. But I don't have that big of a table. I've got this, what you guys see. I've got probably 3 feet this direction off this side, and only like a 2 foot off this side, and it just gets, the desk gets cluttered so bad. And then you have Jeff where ferrets come into his and steal all his parts. Go take them to their secret stash that Jeff hasn't figured out yet. I'm gonna blind you guys for a minute. So that's kind of what I'm coming up with and why I'm talking about it. Because my U shape, I think I want, will probably be 4 feet by 6 feet on both ends on the U shape. So it'll be, you know, 3 feet this way, well 4 feet, and then I'll have like a 3 foot work area here on the front, and then 6 feet going down this way. Alright, that drops into that gap. In you go. There you go. And down you go. I guess the only bonus that the Vicky is all, you know, this gray parts. Well, crap, no, because the other build's all gray too. Never mind, I'm shutting up. Alright, let's get this motor taped down so it doesn't move on me. Hopefully I'm in front. Okay, good. The real question is how did Jeff get anything built when his ferrets to steal all his parts all the time? How does he actually finish a project, and how many kits does he go through to finish that one project? Because his ferrets have stolen everything. Let's start on this side. This will give me a mark. And pencil. Hold on, Alex. I'll read that in uno momento. My part just fell. So you can deal with my messy hair as usual. Painting area to keep having stuff apart. That's one thing Alex brings up a good point. I know I did a rough sketch for you last time, and here's that rough sketch. Let's open that camera, turn off that camera, bring in this camera. So this is kind of a rough idea of what I want to do. So this is what I was talking about a 3-foot gap here, 6 feet going down both sides. You know, your workbench would be big U shape. This here is what you see right here. So this box is my logo. This side of my workbench will be nothing but paint. This right here is my booth that is going to be sitting on top of my desk. Actually, in all reality, this would flip over here, so my booth is against the wall. But shelves on both sides, plus shelf going on top for any paint supplies, reducer, hardeners, anything paint related. Airbrush stuff would go here, and then all my other paints would be here. This side would be just straight workbench dedicated areas for this build. Would have its own box for its parts. This would have one, this would have one. So all I have to do is kind of turn my chair and move. This here is, I've talked about before in the seminar that I went to, is a sanding box. I don't know what he actually called it, but it's basically a piece of pegboard with a shallow box underneath and a vacuum on the bottom. So when he does any kind of sanding, he turns that on, does all his sanding, all the dust gets sucked down, so no more dust on your workbench, because I believe every single one of us deals with that. That's my idea of like a dream workbench and what I'm shooting for. The new spray booth is well in its way. It is built, painted. I've got lights to get installed. I've still got to figure out my new air filters, or not air filters, my new fans for it. Last year my furnace got replaced, so I asked the furnace guys for the blower motor out of the furnace. That is going to be my new exhaust for my spray booth. That doesn't make you drool. With those blower motors, you can 3 different fan settings, so 3 different variations in it. So I'm pretty excited about that. Some of this up. Sanding box sounds interesting. Yes, I was quite intrigued over just that. The guy, he does a lot of machining parts, like a ton of pulleys, almost everything. Any of his builds, he'll take like the stock part and he'll machine it out of aluminum or brass or whatever. So that's why he kind of built that sanding box, and I believe off to the side was a closet, and he had all his machining equipment in there to do all that work. So Jeff, is your ferret been in my room again? I can't find my pencil. There it is. And This is what happens when I have like 5 builds going on. I'm just kidding, not 5. But like 3 builds going on at the same time. I lose things and deal with my messy hair again. That's not very square. Close enough for what I need. And in that process of like building stuff, so I wanted, you know, a chopping block so I can cut all my styrene gets cut there, so I stop super gluing my table every which and where, and just try to get a little bit more organized and well aware. I need to contact my buddy. We were talking of a styrene chopping table that I know they're out there, but we wanted some tweaks in ours. Basically, we wanted a bar that would chop, but we also wanted it adjusted for any angle. And then we also wanted it to have like a straight edge on it, so we could set it off, lock it, and it would have a rolling bar that we could cut strips of styrene. Well, Munchkin's here. What are we gonna do now? No, I haven't figured out my turbos. They're still there. Blow off valves are still there. I haven't decided what I'm gonna do. One of these days, we'll figure something. Alright, so how many in here actually build with styrene and use this stuff? How many of you build and use that? So we got one. I don't know what the price is around where you guys are, but for me, that's $6 for that little tiny bottle, okay? $6 for that bottle. That's ridiculous. $9 here. Same price too. Alright. So we're all on the same page. Stuff works well. It's just expensive, as can be. Let me check something real quick. Hold on. I've got a new product that is on my workbench. Some of you guys may have watched Mythbusters, and you know who Adam Savage is. He has a YouTube channel called Tested. And in Tested, he does one-day builds where he'll build well, a whole bunch of random stuff. But in one of his recent ones, if you guys haven't seen it, or any of his one-day builds where he uses styrene, there's a product that he uses all the time. I finally did the research and I finally found it. It's in front of you. The bottle contains, let's see if it says how much is in here before I show you. Doesn't show me fluid ounces anywhere. Adam is awesome. Alex knows where I'm going. Right here is what he uses. In any of his stuff that he uses styrene. I got it off of Amazon. This was 15 bucks shipped. In comparison, but as you guys know, the Tamiya Thin takes a while before the part will actually set, before you can kind of let go of it. Let's switch cameras here. See, left it open. Yeah, he's had it open almost like the whole entire freaking show. So I don't think it evaporates as well. The smell is completely different than the Tamiya Thin. So, 2 styrene rods. I just broke it off. Here, we'll do it again. Okay, so I just snapped it off. Put it back together. We're going to stick it in. And Adam talks about the different thicknesses on what it takes to actually melt and bond these parts together. So the thinner the stuff, you don't need as much. The thicker the stuff, a little bit more you need. So it actually does bond. There you go. That quick. And your part's there. You can't do that with the Tamiya that quickly and have the parts stay there. You know? Yes, it still takes time. Yeah. It still takes time to actually set, but you try doing that with Tamiya and it's not going to happen. You know, you can't press the 2 parts together and then let go of them. The part's just going to fall over left or right. So this is called, let me get the lid back on here. We'll go like this. Give me a second here. And I will give you the direct link of what I bought. Orders. Sign in. Give me a second, guys. Sign in. Alright. Hold on. Amazon. It is. Alright, here we go. Left click, copy. Let's go back to live dashboard. Alright, what's the name of the stuff? Okay. And paste and enter. There you guys go. There's the link of the stuff I bought. So it looks like I bought a 4 ounce of it. The spaceship thing he did, that was completely ridiculous. He just took complete flat scratch, did some vacuum forms on it, and then made a spaceship. As like me as a model car builder, I was blown away. The techniques that he used and some of the other, things that he used blew me away. I learned a lot just watching that one day build. If you guys haven't seen that video, you need to go find it and you need to watch it. I learned a ton from that video. Let's see. I just recently watched it too. Well, maybe not real recently. This one.
2019's most.
Stop it. No sound for you. Give me a second and I will give you guys the actual link to the video so you don't have to go find it. Left click, copy. Good afternoon, Chris. No, it is not. This is a 392 3D printed Hemi motor with twin turbos on it. That link right there, guys, is the tested video. The one we're talking about, him making a spaceship out of scrap styrene. So if you guys need something to watch, go watch that. That looks a little big. We're all right though. Yep, shake waves. You would be correct. The turbos were not designed for this motor, but I am making them fit. I think they were more designed for a LS motor. So there's the twin turbos. I can't see what I'm pointing at because my OBS isn't up. There's the twins. Came with the intercooler. This is kind of a replica of a Nilsson racing motor. So, but I recommend watching that tested video. Oh, and look at that, they line up perfectly. I couldn't have guessed that better myself. All the mounts line up. Beautiful. But just to watch him build that spaceship from the alien intake, I don't know. Is that what you're talking about? Oh, I gotta resituate here. But just to watch Adam Savage build that spaceship from scratch, do a little vacuum forming, it's amazing. I think you guys will learn something from it. Let's see. From 3D Specialist. That's who I ordered my parts from. 3D Model Specialist. Yeah. That's who I got all my 3D parts. So the motor, the twin turbos, the intake, the intercooler, and the rear end for this was all from 3D Specialist. From Ron Olson. I've ordered quite a bit of parts from him. I believe I was one of his first customers before he became real big. The semi-wheel well covers he built for me when he kind of was first starting 3D printing, so I have them on my big rig. I got a Boss 600 from them. Holy cow, that's a big boy. Oh, that's this my super glue I hear. '63 Galaxy. God, that's a big freaking motor. I need this glue to set up. Oh, that's thick. This is thin. All right, you guys ready for another treat? Let's get OBS up here. We will switch back down to here. Get your dies down closer. So we were talking about how many builds on the desk you got, everything like that. I told you guys I started another build. So the other build that I'm going to be doing is a 62 Catalina. It is going to be a kind of mild custom. So if you guys want to see it, I'll kind of give you an update here, or you can get it on Instagram when I post pictures. I just posted pictures today of the wheels and tires that I'm going to be using for this. They are full-on custom. Everything about these. Nice deep dish here. Not real wide. but I wanted 2 different offsets. 1 kit, 2 kit, 3 different kits that I used in these wheels. They're different and unique. See if I can do this magically through a window. There's the rears. There's the front. Let's see. So, what is this? I'll take a look at that in a minute. Oh, they're selling in the weeds? Yes, in the weeds. It will be. The kind of goal for this, the Catalina, is it was Grandpa's car. Grandpa passed away, and a young kid got a hold of it, and he's starting to do his kind of his own customization. So he's put on different wheels and tires, and he's put on some air ride suspension. So the body's still going to look rusty, used, everything like that. And then, you know, underneath's going to be rusty. Maybe he's redone the interior, so the interior looks nice. I'm going with baby blue and cream, 2-tone on it, so a little bit custom, but it's going to look rusty. So maybe Grandpa painted the roof a while back. So, gonna be a fun little build, I think. Let's stick this back in this hole. I'm worried. This is gonna sit there. All right, hold on. Ted's Model Marketplace. Highlight Model Studios. I really like Highlight Model Studios. They've got some really good parts. In fact, the Vicky itself is going to be having Highlight Model Studio parts. Chuck, I don't know if I've seen your 32. Maybe I have. Uh-oh. Ooh. Mr. Alex sent me a link. That's some pretty nice detail. Throttle body linkage, turbo. Alright, blow off valve going down. Very nice. Alex, is that the stock motor that's in there? Or is that an aftermarket motor? That turbo looks freaking awesome though. It's the stock, yes. Alright, let's see, we need to go to this one and go to channel. We'll throw it up on top. Ooh, it's red. What it looks like. Alright, Chuck, I'll watch it here after. So the paint job I'm going to do on the Catalina is pretty close to what Grant does with his. I've been talking to Grant and learning his secret on how he does his paint job. So, and that is a flying radiator. I need to get back working on this for a minute. This sits right down there on top. But I need to break some parts. Oh, my pliers went. Because this radiator is still too wide. The other thing I'm happy to get a new workbench is hopefully I can get this to relight back up. Let's see. Going, guys. See you later, buddy. Yeah, he's popped on once or twice, but I haven't heard from him for a while. He hasn't popped onto here. Middle of a movie. Alright, Chuck, go enjoy your movie. We'll see you next Sunday. Yeah, I don't know where Minnie is. Usually he does. What's the mount you're using for your radiator? What do you mean, Chris? The mount I'm going to be using is, you can see on the back side here, it sits between the intakes and, really, why is my live stream being retarded? Between the intercooler and the intakes is where the radiator's going to sit. And why is it buffering? And then it just sits on 2 pieces of styrene. Alright, I need a little more work done. Is that what you're talking about, Chris? What the heck?